baby's smile can change the whole world for two dogs. Buddy and Luna were two loyal dogs from the same family. They had lived together in this house for years. One energetic and playful, the other calm and protective. Buddy was the joy of the house. Luna was its heart. They had grown up together, aged together. But something was about to change in that house. There had been a different kind of excitement in the house over the past few weeks. Mom and Dad were constantly preparing new things, little clothes, tiny toys were appearing in the house. Buddy and Luna sensed that something was about to happen. The smells had changed, the sounds had changed. And finally the day arrived. One morning the door opened. Mom walked in holding a tiny baby in her arms. From that moment on, nothing would ever be the same again. The baby's name was Noah. Buddy and Luna sniffed him curiously. Buddy wagged his tail while Luna sat quietly beside the baby. From the very first day, Noah felt that these two dogs were part of his family. Buddy would sometimes straighten Noah's blanket, while Luna slept beside his crib at night. The house was now warmer, fuller, and happier. But one day, everything changed. Noah was only a few months old. It was a windy day with a storm outside. While Noah was sleeping in his room, there was a sudden clap of thunder outside. Luna barked reflexively at the sound. Once, twice, 3 times. Noah suddenly woke up. His little heart pounded with fear. He started crying. His mother ran, picked him up, but Luna's bark had created fear in little Noah's heart. From that day on, Noah started crying when he saw dogs. Luna felt guilty. Her eyes seemed to be apologizing. Buddy snuggled up next to Luna. They both understood. Little Noah was now afraid of them. Days passed. Silence reigned in the house. Buddy and Luna could no longer approach Noah like they used to. The trio who once shared the same blanket now spent time in separate rooms. Luna would look at the crib door and sigh. Buddy would take his toy ball, leave it in front of the door, but Noah wouldn't play. It was as if that special bond between them had vanished. So, do you think little Noah will be able to trust his old friends again? Have you ever felt sorry for hurting someone unintentionally and waited for them to forgive you? Write your answer in the comments. And if you're curious about the rest of this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. One day Noah started walking. He stumbled toward the room. Luna was lying in the corner. Suddenly Noah touched Luna's tail. Luna lifted her head. Little Noah smiled. That smile was enough to melt the ice between them. From that day on, Noah realized Luna wasn't someone to be afraid of. He realized she just wanted to protect him. They started spending time together. He would stroke Luna's fur and play games with Buddy. The house was filled with laughter again. Mom watched from the kitchen. Tears of joy rolled down her cheeks. Because love had been reborn in this house. Buddy handed the ball to Noah. Noah laughed. "Throw it," he said. The ball fell to the ground. Luna ran after it. Buddy barked. Noah laughed. Everything had started again. Love had replaced fear. Little Noah, who had feared losing his 2 closest friends, had found them again. Luna and Buddy, meanwhile, had understood how precious it was to touch a baby's heart. And that day when the family photo was taken, everyone was in the same frame. Mom, Dad, little Noah, Luna, and Buddy. There was only one expression on their faces. True love is reborn through forgiveness. The house was quiet. The peaceful anticipation in the air heralded a new beginning. Lum and his twin Luis had been the joy of this house for years. The 2 brothers, inseparable, raised with their owner's love, were like children of the house. But this time something was different. There was new activity in the house, a new scent, a new hope. Mom was pregnant, and Lum and Luis could sense it. At night they would snuggle up to Mom's belly and listen. They thought they could hear the tiny heartbeat coming from inside. It was as if that heart was telling them, "Get ready," every single time. They waited. Days passed, weeks went by. Then one morning the sound of crying echoed through the house. Emma's voice. In that moment, everything changed. Lum and Luis looked at each other. Someone new had arrived. Small, fragile, and commanding all the attention. Lum sniffed her, then backed away. Luis took a step forward but then stopped too. The same expression was on both their faces. Jealousy. The attention that once belonged to them now revolved around Emma. It was Emma, not them, who now sat in their mother's lap. It was Emma, not them, who now received their father's smile. A silence fell over the house. Lum was no longer playing and Luis was no longer barking joyfully. In the corner where they used to sleep together at night, they leaned against each other and waited silently. But no one noticed the tears falling from their eyes. What do you think a dog does when it senses its family no longer wants it? Does it run away? Does it stay silent? Or does it wait, hoping to be loved again? Write your thoughts in the comments, because this story gives the answer. Days passed. Lum and Luis lost their appetite. The games ended. The cheerful barks fell silent. Every time Emma cried, Lum felt sad but couldn't approach her. One day Mom and Dad had a serious conversation. Lum couldn't hear their whispers but he could sense their tone of voice. Either them or Emma. Yes, a decision was about to be made. The family was considering taking the dogs to the shelter. And this was the decision that would change Lum and Luis's fate. That night, Lum approached Emma's crib. The little baby's face was red from crying. Lum quietly approached and smoothed the blanket with his nose. For a moment, Emma's tiny hand touched Lum's paw. Something happened in that moment. A warmth in Lum's heart. It was as if that touch was saying, "We are no longer enemies." When the parents entered the room in the morning, they froze at the sight before them. Lum was sleeping next to Emma. Luis was curled up under the crib. There was a peaceful serenity on both their faces. What do you think the mother and father felt at that moment? Seeing that the two friends they had planned to take to the shelter were actually protecting their baby? Could something have broken in their hearts? Do you think everyone could notice this? Nothing was the same after that moment. Lum and Luis became Emma's protectors. They would rush to her side whenever she cried and wag their tails whenever she smiled. They no longer hesitated to share their food. As Emma grew up, Lum and Luis became her closest friends. They brought her toys that had fallen to the ground and played with her. And perhaps the most beautiful thing, the three of them slept under the same blanket at night. The house was full again. Love had given way not to jealousy but to acceptance. Because sometimes family isn't just about blood ties, but about hearts speaking the same language. Have you ever witnessed love at its strongest when you thought you'd lost it? Maybe sometimes, the most beautiful friendships start with a misunderstanding. But in the end, love always wins.